everyone, it's Andrea. I think it's the last day of August, so you've made it through another month. Today I was going to talk a little bit to those of you that are suffering with chronic health problems. Something that's actually incredibly challenging, and I wanted to emphasize the importance of how you must own the journey to getting yourself back to health, and how sometimes we need to build a team of several experts, including ourselves, to direct our return to full health. And it's not always that simple. Sometimes we want to hope that there's going to be one person out there that can heal us, and that there's one answer and explanation for where we are with our health challenges. And I'm talking about those complex, chronic, tough, tricky health journeys. Medically, we tend to put a label on those. We could call them chronic fatigue, or autoimmune conditions, or gastro problems, or basically any of those ones that seems to be quite complex and challenging. So where do we start? Well, I think the beginning of when our health starts to unravel, it's often a time when our body just starts shouting something isn't right. And at that point, we either listen or we forge on. We forge on trying to pretend that everything's okay, that this will go, I'm too busy. And I think underlying this, there's sort of an element of fear, because we just want to push it aside. We're feeling something's not right, and it's not convenient, or it's a bit too scary, or we feel a little bit too alone to really go there. So we forge on and we don't listen. At that point, symptoms will start to increase, and eventually your body will yell, and it's yelling, stop, pay attention, there's something going on here that needs to be addressed. Then our minds take over, because it's easier for us to want to logic our way through things. We'll create all sorts of explanations for what's going on, and we'll go into whatever system of healing we believe in. Most of us will end up at the doctor's, but for other of us, we may end up doing maybe more spiritual and emotional work. And I think both of these things are incredibly important. However, from what I see, is that it's never really that simple. We're really complex. We are physical, so we have our organs and tissues and glands, our brain. We have a musculoskeletal system, and for this, in the medical realm, we have doctors, we have osteopaths, we have chiropractors, we have those that work with the physical body, and they're very useful to us to find out answers. We have access to diagnostic tests. We can get a diagnosis, basically. But is that what you want? Do you want to just have a label of you have this, and therefore you must take this medicine or do this therapy, and that's sort of your sentence moving forward? Is that really where you want to be? Now, I know a lot of us can gain a piece of identity around this. We have an explanation, we have a reason, and we have something to focus on. And it can be all-consuming. Our condition becomes who we are. And we are someone with Lyme's. We are someone with chronic fatigue. We are someone with A to Z of the dictionary of complex conditions. And there's going to be more and more of them appearing as life becomes messier and more overwhelming and complex in the evolution of mankind. I think there's always a next thing that comes on the radar. Lately it's Lyme's. Now, I'm not dismissing the seriousness or the reality or the physical truth of the fact that these conditions are complex and serious and very, very real. But we're more complicated than this. And I believe that if we have known health, we get born healthy. Generally, most of us, we're fortunate. We have to ask, well, why are we here? What do we need to do? How deep do we need to listen? because generally we need to listen really deeply. So we may want to focus on going outside to find these answers, but we also must go inside. So I said that we're physical beings. We're here. We're in a body. This is the journey. But we're also mental in our minds. There's stress, there's worries, our brain. It has a lot of gears, and it can really take over the show. So there's a lot of truth that stress triggers a lot of imbalances in our body, because often we're putting ourselves through stresses that we really don't want to be in. We're following a life path that isn't really truly in alignment with balance. And then we have something deeper, the whole realm of emotions and soul and spirit. And this is where the really fascinating work can be done. But it's not easy, because you're going to be touching on your triggers, your fears, your anxieties, your wounds, the whole journey of this lifetime and more. Our sensitivity and our empathy and our ability to connect into the whole vibration of the world, which we could call environment. We get sick because of our environment. We have pollution, we have endocrine disruptors, we have pesticides, herbicides, you name it, our bodies are being exposed to a lot. But we also have the environment around us of people and vibrations and energy, and it's a bit of a mixed pot of stuff at the moment. There's a lot of fear out there, there's a lot of anxiety, and in the middle of that, there's something amazing and wonderful called life, and it's buzzing around us, and there's Mother Earth, and there's the animal realm and the plant realm, and you know, we lose the focus of the fact that this gift, this journey that we're on is truly amazing. But when we move out of balance within this spiritual, emotional realm, there's only so much that we can veer off track before we start to manifest signs in our bodies, which then become physical. So when we're unraveling health at the other side, when we're sick, I feel we need to delve there too. And that's the harder work, but it's the fascinating work. If you can hold on to an element of curiosity, if you can become a little bit more aware, I think it's a truly fascinating journey. We need to not take ourselves too seriously, have a sense of humor, be open to everything that unravels. It's a bit like peeling an onion. So essentially our health is complex, and it's something that's very, very precious, and it's something that very much teaches us about ourselves and where we are in life. So how do we heal this? Is there one person that can do all of this? I don't know. I think we need to build a team. I think we need support to help us grow, to help us go into those places that may challenge us a bit. Some of us need someone beating them with a stick about their nutrition and lifestyle, because they've not been taking care of themselves. And generally that's a self-worth thing. So then we need someone to help us, support us with the emotional side of things. Why are we not taking care of ourselves? You know, we are amazing beings. And our bodies are incredible miracles. So if we're not taking care of it, well, why? And that's generally deeper. So we need the support on the emotional realm, the musculoskeletal. I've had my eyes opened myself with my health. Recently, I've had some problems with my throat and swallowing, and I've had to face fears for me with accepting support and going into the medical system. I have a big fear of hospitals, understandably from experiences in my childhood. Experiences that saved my ass, but nevertheless were a little bit traumatic to me as a young, sensitive child. So I've had to jump into that realm and seek help. But it seems that, and I knew I have a good awareness. I knew that we can't always just look for one tidy answer to where we are. There's many, and for me, the musculoskeletal system, our physical bodies, the journey with those is very important as well. And many symptoms that can blow your mind out with how can they create this one thing. We'll often see digestive issues can be musculoskeletal, anxiety, pain in distant areas. For me, my throat could be a bulging disc. So there you go. I could be told that there's many things, or I'm imagining it and it's stress. But there could be a very physical thing impacting on my trachea. So I'm down the next route of answers for that. So just be aware that there can be many things, and inside of that, there's us. And we tend to have a bit of an instinct around things. There's just a sense within the body when there's something wrong, and that's when we're meant to listen. And then there's a sense of where we need to go with this, who we need to go with this. And that's where you follow. But we need to take ownership of it as well. Someone isn't going to come out of the sky and fix it all for us. We have to do the work as well. We have to change our patterns. We have to, put the food on the table that's healthy for us. We need to move our bodies, stretch our bodies, get physically active, or stop being too physically active, where we may have been running ourselves into the ground with overtraining, because it's so easy and convenient to keep so busy that we're not really connecting into ourselves. But after a while, your body is going to fall apart, and things are going to go further wrong. So that's just body going, listen, listen. And when you don't listen, when I'm talking, I'm going to listen and I'm going to shout. So we have to own it by making changes. And then there's the whole emotional realm, which is deep. It's a deep ocean. It's a fascinating one. You know the way they say in the ocean, there's so many creatures we don't even know that live down there. I saw a video, a sad one actually, about how there's a certain species of, I think it's whale. It has almost like two noses that are washing up on the shores. And they don't know if this is because of sonar, but I'd never seen this creature before. He lives way, way down on the bottom of the ocean. So oceans run deep, just like us, and the complexity of our emotional journey. And I don't believe we're only around this block of life once. I believe there's so many other journeys that we've done, so many journeys that we do in dream realm, so many ways we absorb and are sensitive to the whole world around us. And this is fascinating work that often requires you to lean on a bit of support to help you draw it all out and understand it and unravel how the psyche and the emotions and the whole journey for us has impacted on our health somewhat, to the point where there's physical issues also that need the other side of life or experts to help us with. So as aware as I am about myself and how curious I am about my journey, I reach out too for support. We cannot always take care of ourselves. We need to embrace support. So like I'm saying, build that team. It may require you to spend a bit of money on yourself. It may mean that it's not just the doctor you're going to the chiropractor or the osteopath or the therapist or the Reiki person doing Reiki or energy healing, or you may need to subscribe to a gym or have some massage. There could be several things that you need to do. And that's going to ask you to invest in yourself, but that investment will reap rewards called health and happiness, and for some, a sense of purpose. So you just got to jump in and know that there are many people that get it, that are here to support you, that when it feels right, you can trust. They're going to hold your back when you're facing fears, when you're unraveling perhaps some deep wounds and pain. That's important. If it feels right, not all of us want to dig deep, but it's not about digging deep to stay in that hole. It's about planting flowers. It's about making sense of it all. It's about understanding yourself. It's about being compassionate about the journey that you've had. So I'm saying, when it feels right, throw yourself in and seek support. Do this for you, for your health. You don't have to have a sentence of a condition for a lifetime that's requiring you to take medication. There's more. There's feeling good. And